Just after midnight, loud sirens echoed across Tel Aviv. People at Ben Gurion Airport stopped in their tracks. Some screamed, others ran. The ground shook, and a loud explosion filled the air. For a few terrifying moments, no one knew what was going on. Israel's busiest and most secure airport had just come under attack. On May 4th, 2025, a missile launched from Yemen by the Houthi rebels landed near Ben Gurion International Airport. The explosion didn't hit the terminal directly, but it landed close enough to cause damage and injure several people. Windows shattered, flights were stopped, and panic spread quickly through the airport. The Houthis, a rebel group from Yemen backed by Iran, have become one of Israel's newest long-range threats. Ben Gurion is known for its heavy security. It's protected by some of the most advanced defense systems in the world. But this time, those systems didn't work. The missile got through, and no one stopped it. People around the world were shocked. If a missile could hit a place like Ben Gurion, what else might be at risk? In this video, we'll explain exactly what happened that night, how Israel's defense system could fail, and what this attack means for the future of the Middle East. Now, what exactly happened on May 4th, 2025? Around 12:30 a.m, the missile hit the area near Terminal 3, where most international flights arrive and depart. It exploded near the road that leads to the airport, throwing up dust, glass and debris. People inside the terminal said the ground shook. Some thought it was a bomb planted inside. Windows shattered. 8 people were hurt, some from the blast, others just from the chaos. This missile wasn't like the usual ones fired in the region. The Houthis said it was a hypersonic missile. That made it almost impossible to detect or stop, and hits its target area with terrifying accuracy. Right after the strike, the airport went from full of travellers to completely still. People were told to take cover, some hid in bathrooms, others curled up near gates with their luggage. It was supposed to be one of the safest places in the country, but at that moment, it didn't feel that way. The Houthi rebels later said they did it to support Palestinians in Gaza. They warned that more attacks could come if Israel keeps its military campaign going. This wasn't a random missile, it was a clear message. Airport Ben Gurion has always been a high security zone. Many thought it could never be hit. But now that belief is gone. If a missile from over 1,000 miles away could land so close to Israel's most guarded airport, what else could be next? Now let's look into how all of Israel's powerful defense systems failed to stop this missile before it landed. The missile that hit near Ben Gurion Airport wasn't intercepted. It wasn't even slowed down. That shocked military experts around the world. Israel's Arrow 3 system is designed to take down long-range ballistic missiles. THAAD, standing for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, is made to handle high-altitude threats. Both are supposed to stop fast, high-flying missiles from hitting major targets. But this time, they didn't work. Why? The answer might lie in the kind of missile the Houthis used. They claimed it was a hypersonic missile. That means it flew extremely fast, faster than 5 times the speed of sound, and could change direction while flying. That makes it very hard to track and almost impossible to hit with normal missile defense systems. If this is true, it could mean a major shift in the balance of power in the region. Hypersonic missiles are cutting-edge weapons. Only a few countries like Russia, China and the US are known to have them. If the Houthis have them too, or at least something close, that raises serious questions about who is helping them and how advanced their weapons have become. This event is now being called one of the biggest defense failures in Israel's recent history. Not just because a missile hit, but because it hit one of the most protected places in the country. And more importantly, it wasn't supposed to be possible. People across Israel are now asking, if Ben Gurion can be hit, is anywhere truly safe? Now, why are the Houthis targeting Israel, and how does this attack connect to the war in Gaza? The Houthi rebels are based in Yemen, over 1,200 miles away from Israel. So why are they launching missiles at Israeli airports? The answer lies in a growing regional conflict that is quickly pulling more groups into the fight. Right after the missile hit Ben Gurion Airport, the Houthis released a public statement. They said they carried out the strike to support the Palestinian people in Gaza. According to them, As long as Israel continues its military operations there, they will keep launching attacks. This isn't the first time the Houthis have fired missiles toward Israel. Since the Israel-Gaza war began, they've fired several long-range missiles and drones. Most of them were intercepted or didn't reach their targets. But this time they got through, and that changes everything. The Houthis are backed by Iran, just like Hezbollah in Lebanon. Together, these groups form a powerful network of Iranian allies across the Middle East. They often act independently, but share the same goal: to weaken Israel and push back against US influence in the region. By striking Israel, the Houthis are also sending a message to the world. They want to show that the fight over Gaza is not just a local conflict, it's part of a much larger struggle. And they want to prove that even a group from a distant, war-torn country can shake the confidence of a military superpower. The timing of the attack is also important. It came just hours before Israel's government was set to vote on expanding its military campaign in Gaza. That makes it clear, the missile strike wasn't random. It was carefully planned to increase pressure on Israeli leaders. Next, how did the world react to this attack? After the missile strike, the ripple effects were immediate and global. Within hours, international airlines began cancelling flights to and from Ben Gurion Airport. Major carriers like Lufthansa, Air France and British Airways either grounded their flights or diverted them to other cities. Some flights already in the air had to reroute mid-journey. The airport that handles nearly 25 million passengers a year was suddenly frozen. Passengers were stranded, with little information about when flights would resume. Inside the terminals, screens flashed, cancelled over and over again. Outside, the roads were jammed with people trying to leave, unsure if another missile would come. For a country that relies on air travel for business, tourism, and military coordination, this was a major disruption. Governments around the world took notice. The US, Germany, and the UK all issued updated travel warnings for Israel. The FAA, which stands for Federal Aviation Administration, briefly considered airspace restrictions over the region. The message was clear: even Israel's most protected areas were now vulnerable. Inside Israel, leaders moved fast. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called an emergency meeting with top military and intelligence officials just hours after the attack. Israeli defence forces were put on high alert, and extra troops were moved into key locations around the country. Behind closed doors, Israeli officials discussed how to respond. The idea of launching a strike on Houthi positions in Yemen was raised, but that would mean expanding the war even further. And attacking inside Yemen could trigger a wider conflict with Iran and other regional powers. Still, the pressure to respond was intense. Israel couldn't afford to look weak after such a public failure. The military also began reviewing its defence systems. Could the Arrow or Thardi be upgraded? Were there weaknesses that enemy forces had learned to exploit? And perhaps most urgently, was this just the first of many attacks? One missile caused flight delays, political panic, and a new round of military planning. The real question now is, what comes next? In our final section, we look at what this attack means for the future of Israel and the wider Middle East. The missile strike near Ben Gurion Airport wasn't just a one-time scare, it marked a turning point, a clear signal that the Middle East is entering a more dangerous phase. For decades, Israel relied on its high-tech defence systems to keep threats far away from its cities and major sites. But on May 4th, that illusion cracked. The fact that a group like the Houthis could hit Israel's most secure airport shows how much the battlefield has changed. Missiles are faster, enemies are farther, and the old systems may not be enough anymore. Israel now faces tough decisions. Should it strike back at the Houthis and risk dragging Yemen deeper into the conflict? Or should it focus inward, upgrading its defences and tightening its borders? Either way, one thing is clear: Ben Gurion is no longer untouchable. For civilians, the impact is already being felt. Flights are cancelled. Fear is growing. As for the world, this attack has sent a loud warning. The Middle East is changing fast. The old lines are being erased and new ones are being drawn, missile by missile, mile by mile. This was not just a missile attack, it was a message. And the whole world heard it. What would you have done if you were at that airport during the strike? Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.